Hello, hello, hello. How are you? Welcome to this next episode 9, which is focused very much on problem solving. I just thought I'd start with a little bit of music. I need to take a quick look here and see because for some reason, again, Instagram keeps giving me some problems. So give me a quick second as I get that resolved, and we'll get started in a few seconds as we get a few more viewers logged on to the show. Let's see what's going on here. All right, why is this not working? So this should be, not sure, this new program. How you doing? It's nice to see you all. And if you are logged on right now, welcome. It's a pleasure to have you. So let me just put that in. How to solve episode 9. I'll be with you in just a second. And let's go live. There we go. All right. So we're live both on Instagram. We're live on Facebook. We're live on my Facebook page. We're live on YouTube. And we are ready to communicate and share some interesting thoughts about problem solving. Now, this isn't just a basic problem solving kind of conversation. This is really focused on what are the kind of problems that we face in our life right now, and why do we get stuck in a loop where we can't seem to solve them no matter what tends to happen. So I'm really looking forward to having this conversation with you. I'm really looking forward to your participation. Today, we're not going to have a guest. We're going to have a guest next week. I've decided that I'm going to have one session with a guest, one session with me, just to keep that diversity going, because I got some feedback from some of you saying we want to hear more from you, and I really, really appreciate that. I'm learning from you how best to serve you, and that is my primary objective, okay? So getting right into it, let's talk a little bit about problem solving. In order to make this really effective, I want to know from you, what kind of problems do you face in your life that you feel kind of stuck in? You don't have to give me a lot of details, but you can tell me, for example, that I'm facing problems when it comes to money. I'm facing problems when it comes to relationships. I'm facing problems when it comes to my wellness, my health. I'm facing problems when it comes to, I don't know, certain situations where I keep a feeling that that problem happens over and over and over and over again. So I want to know from you, what kind of problems or challenges do you tend to face in your life? And we're going to work together to get that resolved, okay? Not specifically maybe in the core problem. By the way, just so you know, as usual, you can join this call incognito or with your lovely face. You can let me hear your voice on the show by simply going to the link on Instagram and clicking in my bio, okay? In Insta, you're going to find a link to these, streamcasting majiggy that I'm doing. And for those of you that are watching on YouTube, they're watching on Facebook, they're watching on my Facebook page, you can also join me by going and clicking on the link, and that will allow you to go ahead and interact and come on live and ask me questions. So I would love to hear from you a lot. Hello, Aline, how are you? I hope you're doing fantastic. I'm sorry, guys, on Instagram, I don't tend to always respond to every single hello because I feel it'll be a bit disruptive to the context of the conversation. But let's talk about problem solving. So first of all, what kind of problems do you tend to face in your life that are somewhat repetitive, that keep on revising themselves, they keep on popping up in your life, they keep on showing in your life? Any ideas? Can you share that with me really quickly? Going to give you a quick second to process that. I'll keep the music going as you write down your thoughts. 30 seconds to do that. Let's get it going. Tell me, what are problems that you hear from people or problems that you are facing over and over and over again? Taking a look at the notes. Let's see. Okay. I keep having people take advantage of me. All right, so that's a problem. I keep having people take advantage of me. Same patterns at work. Face problems related to money. I can't help myself to find a job, especially during these days. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate your honesty. If you find that it's a bit too sensitive to write on the chat, you can private message me. I'll share the information, but I won't share your name. So just go ahead and let me know about that. What else do you face? People on Facebook and YouTube, go ahead, share more comments and context. Come on, let me hear you guys. Let's get some emoticons going also in the chat. I would love to see your energy. Let's get the show pumped up today. It's a beautiful Friday evening. Let's get our brains working. So what do we have here? All right. Toxic people. All right. Problems with being shy. Okay. All right. Well, those are some good ideas. Let's go ahead and kind of dig into that a little bit more and get a better idea of what's going on. So typically when we talk about problem solving, we talk about taking something that we're currently experiencing over and over and over again and resolving it. It's really important to be able to break it down into steps. But before we get into the problem solving steps of problem solving, and there are many, many different models to go through, I'm going to share with you one that tends to work for me the most. What I'd like to know from you a little bit is, have you ever thought about what kind of mindset that you're in when you're trying to solve a problem? So most times problems are a source of pain for us. So they cause us a lot of pain inside of our system. We feel that pain at the level of our mind. We feel that pain at the level of our body. Okay. And what's important to understand is that if we're going through a high pain experience, it's going to affect how we feel in that moment. Okay. And how we feel in that moment is going to affect what's going to happen to our brain chemistry. And what I mean by brain chemistry, it's going to send blood and oxygen to parts of the brain that are designed to protect us from danger because we feel that the problem is a big threat and it's a weight on us, okay? So Tab, how do you deal with a problem from a space in your head that is the least competent to solve the problem? So why I'm saying this is because it's so important and so relatively effectively essential to recognize that when you want to solve a problem in your life, you need to really invite yourself into a state of peace, into a state of calmness, into a state of safety before you even start thinking about the problem. So I'm going to share with you some ideas on how to do that. Lately, over the past 2 weeks, I've been facing a challenge myself. It's been an ongoing question for about 1.5 years now on what do I do regarding something in my life that is very essential for me and that has an effect on my family. So if I go ahead and take the step, it will have an effect on what's going on with my family, and it will have an effect on their quality of life, and it'll have an effect on my quality of life. Really, it's kind of, in basic terms, me thinking about whether I want to leave Lebanon for a while and move to a neighboring country, or decide to stay in Lebanon and kind of face and deal with the storm that's happening right now until it passes. So in that process, for the past couple of months, for the first time in my life, I feel like I'm in a yo-yo. Because if the decision was up to me personally, I would take the decision in seconds. So I have no problem stepping out of Lebanon for a while, coming back. And it's not because I'm running away from pain. It's because I'm focusing on what I want versus what I don't want. We're going to talk about in just a bit. The reality is, in today's world, taking that decision has an impact on more than just me. It has an impact on several people in my life. So can you think of a problem in your life where you have to take a decision and that decision has an impact on more than just you? And they are individuals and people that you care about, that you love, and in fact, it might affect their quality of life. And then you're stuck in the situation type, these are my values, this is what I was taught to do. I love taking care of my family, my parents, but then there's my future too. There's so much more benefit I can help people if I'm in a different country or different context at the time being. So you can notice that there are many different things that are affecting this thought process. And what has happened is that it's put me in a state of very high stress. And in fact, because I wasn't able to process the idea on my own, it exhausted me. I just noticed that someone just joined. I see that, okay. MOHD, I noticed that you just joined, but if you join without your mic, then we won't be able to hear you if you're going to join the call, brother. So if you're joining to have a conversation with me on the live, I need you to connect the mic at least. If you don't connect the mic, I can't invite you on the show. So I'm just letting you know that if you want to do that, you can go ahead and figure out a solution to connect your mic. Check the settings, please, on StreamYard before jumping on, and I will do my best. It'll be an honor and a pleasure to have you on the show. Now, this has caused me confusion, but and thanks so much for that, Hibadi. But more importantly, it's caused me stress. So I'm going to draw this out for you on my board, on my whiteboard, and kind of share with you these ideas, because it's important to recognize what actually happens in our brain and how we can leverage our brain more effectively. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen on StreamYard. If you can't see this, please use a different tool, because when I was sharing my screen before, I got some feedback that the screen is not, whatever, portrait mode, etc. And it has not been very effective for everybody on Instagram, but I promise I'll do my best to verbalize this. So for those of you who are on StreamYard right now that are taking a look, I'd like to remind you a little bit about the model of the brain. So I've talked about this many times, that the brain is broken down into four, I'm super simplifying, four primary areas that function well for us. So if I drew the brain right now, sort of a drawing like this, so what I'm doing right now for those on Instagram is I'm drawing the brain, but it looks more like a bean. And what I've done is I've identified the first section, which is right here in the front, which is in blue, okay? And that's what we call our prefrontal cortex. I've also highlighted a section in yellow, and that section in yellow is what we call our limbic system, or the emotional brain. And I've highlighted a part in red at the bottom of the stem right here, which we also talked about last time, which is the reptilian brain. And really, as we are experiencing amounts of stress, it's driving the blood. So if this is blood, okay, it's driving blood and oxygen and more nutrients to the part of the brain that is needed in that specific time. And in this case, that part would be our reptilian brain, okay? And so it's preparing us for flight, fight, and freeze. We've talked about this many, many, many times, but it's so essential to understand that it's basically something you need to be able to control. Now, in this situation, when we're flight, fight, freeze, flight, fight, and freeze, going a bit slower, what's going to happen is it's going to affect the way we feel. So we're going to feel stressed out. We're going to feel exhausted. We're going to feel confused. We're going to feel overwhelmed. And this is very much what's happening in my system right now. And it's hilarious because being a coach and a specialist in human behavior and a researcher in neuroscience, you would think I would have the brains to deal with this effectively. And here's the thing, I don't, because I'm human. So when I'm in a situation where I'm sort of like drowning in the water of my own concerns, okay, it becomes very hard for me to be objective versus subjective. So in this kind of a situation, what our brain is going to do first is going to tell us, hey, you need to stick to what you know. And what do I know? I know my home in Lebanon. I know my safety here. Why am I using this example? I'm opening up my life to you as always, because this show is about honest conversations. Honest conversations means I got to be vulnerable with you. I'm not a super coach. I'm not a superhuman being. I'm a human being who has challenges just like you, just like everybody else. We all have the same problem in finding medication. If we're talking about Lebanon, if you're living in a different country, I don't know what kind of challenges you're going through. I know there are a lot of people from different areas of the world that are watching the show. Just think of it as any challenge you're facing right now, any problem in your life that is affecting your ability to make decisions. If it's too big, it's going to drown you. And the problem with drowning you is it's going to send you into a state where you feel overwhelmed by it. Now, I know this is true for me, and yet I haven't dealt with it yet, because in many aspects, we are many times in denial. And when I say denial, it means to an extent, no, okay, Lebanon has problems and it is what it is, but things will eventually get better. We're always hoping for the next day. We're always hopeful that there's a better day tomorrow, and that is fantastic. But there's also a big difference between being naive, right? And also the big difference between being able to take essential calculations. So if someone comes up to me right now and says, John, I need your advice, not as a coach, because coaches don't advise, but as a person, and said, hey, you're a pretty wise guy. You've been doing this for a long time. All my friends say, Shuma Toz John Keiruz. So basically, fine. What is it that you need? And then you say, well, I don't know if I should leave or I should stay. I would be able to really support you making that decision very, very quickly, because the part of my brain that I'm using to solve the problem is the prefrontal cortex. Okay, so it's pretty easy for me to do that. I think it's Muhammad. It says Muhammad has just solved his audio problem. Let's take a look. Hello, hello. You need to unmute, brother, for me to hear you. Zach, I'll definitely answer that in just a second. Let me just see if Mr. Mahad has been able to unmute his mic because he just joined the show. Hello?
Hello, how are you?
Good, how are you? So what should we call you? Is it Mahad? Hamad, right? Okay, so you went for short. All right, Hamad, where are you from? If it's okay to ask.
From Jordan.
Jordan, ya ahla wa sahla ba ahl Jordan. It's nice to have you on the show, brother. So tell me, would you like to talk about something related to problem solving or any specific problem in your life?
I talk about the problem solving techniques and issues and decision fatigue. Yani sometimes, as you said, you have many decisions by the day. You would like to have it and to do it, but you have the decision fatigue by the end of the day. So what do you think about that, John?
I think that's a great point that you're bringing up. And decision fatigue is really exhausting all of us, including myself, because my life is based on decisions all the time. Muhammad, are you facing that, or are you sharing with us some advice right now? If you are, I would love to know a little bit more about your background, just so we get to know you a little bit better. If you want.
I have some background in sales and marketing field. I have the decision fatigue because we have decisions by all the days. In the operation process, we have the decision fatigue. I face this issue. I try and find many solutions, but I need your advice also.
Got it. Okay. Well, first of all, it's an honor. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for your vulnerability, for your candor, for allowing yourself to open up on the show in honest conversations. It's an honor, and I want to talk to you from heart to heart as a brother. Having faced this myself, and we all go through this. So the first thing is that, and the reason why I tell you that I'm going through this right now is because I want to take away the stigma of saying that aib to have problems, or aib to get to a point as a man or as a woman or as a person who's responsible as a parent where you can't make a decision anymore. No, it can happen where you guys will face a situation where you will face decision fatigue, where you will face a fatigue from being too long in the reptilian brain, too long in a chronic stress situation. And COVID and the situation that we're living with today in the world economically, and especially for someone like yourself, Muhammad, who are basically dealing in the world of sales, where you're always pressured to make more and more money in a world and in an economy that is probably going right the opposite direction, it can be really, really exhausting. So what I'd like to do is definitely get to the core of this topic and share some solid information with you all on how to overdo it. And we're going to do it together. So I'm going to work on myself while we work together on this right now on the show. I want to open up my heart and my vulnerability to you to know that I'm also a human being. You can see in my eyes, I'm pretty tired. I haven't been sleeping very well, not because I'm anxious, but I'm actually just frustrated, okay? So first thing that we need to do is make sure that before we start with solving the problems in our life, we need to get into a state of performance that allows us to actually be as resourceful as we can be. How do we get to that state? It starts by identifying what we're experiencing before we even get to problem solving. So Muhammad, if you take a pen and paper right now, and everybody here on the show and both, all the 4 different platforms, just grab a pen and paper if you don't mind for a few seconds, and I'm going to do this with you too. And you get a little booklet, okay? You open up to a page or whatever it is. You can write on your phone too, but usually writing by hand is much more effective. And I want to take a moment with you to just kind of reflect on what emotions am I feeling right now, okay? So ask yourself, in relation to my problems, in relation to whatever it is that I'm experiencing, the issues that are bugging me, what emotions are you experiencing? So we're going to take 30 seconds to just give you some time to kind of reflect inwards and say, okay, deep breath. What am I feeling right now? Okay. It's a very simple technique, very easy to do. Muhammad, I just want to make sure you're still with me, brother, right?
Yes, sure.
All right, buddy. So you ready to do the exercise?
Excited.
All right, let's go for it. So starting off with this, thinking about what feelings, I'm going to try to support you a little bit in the decision without over talking. some of the emotions that we might feel in situations like this are anger. I feel angry. I feel stressed. I feel tired. I feel emotional. I feel like I need love. I feel like I'm frustrated. I feel like I'm pissed off. I feel like I want to scream. I want to shout. It could also be action oriented. I feel guilty. I feel like I'm failing. Okay. I feel like I'm not doing enough. I feel like it's unfair. So these are all types of feelings that we tend to feel. I feel like I need a break. Okay, etc. So what you notice here is you're going to get one of those feelings or a combination of those feelings. So the first thing we do is we write them down. And why I'm asking you, thanks, Nick, I can see your response is frustrated, angry. Write them down, because first you need to get them out of your system. You need to acknowledge what you're feeling, and you need to be okay with that. Invite yourself to be okay with that prior to dealing with anything else. So I'm going to give you 30 seconds, and then we'll continue. I'll try to put some background music as we kind of reflect on this. Let's go for... where is it? "30 seconds. Okay. Great. So you should be thinking about 30 seconds right now to kind of reflect on what kind of emotions are you feeling and what are the impacts of those emotions on your life. And the reason why I'm asking you this is because I want you to invite yourself to become connected with yourself at this very moment, so we can go deep into who you are and what's going on in your life. So whatever those emotions are, can you write them down for me, please? Can you just share with me some of your thoughts? I really want to understand what's going on with you so that I can actually, guide this exercise in a way that's most effective for you all. Okay. Invisible, angry, frustrated, relaxed. Keep sharing those thoughts with me. Just going to give you another 10 seconds just to type them in. Scared to get out of our comfort zone. Yep. Thank you for that. Confused, pain, mad, lost, angry, no control. All right. And this is really what we're dealing with. Tired. Yeah. I'm so grateful to all of you. You're such beautiful people. You really are. Just the fact that you're sharing and opening up your heart. Look, here's a situation. there's no magic formula or therapy to this, all right? It really is about you deciding to want change. So step number one is to write down our emotions and become aware of them, and to ask ourselves if it's okay for us to feel that way. And I want you to know that, at least from my perspective, it's okay to feel tired. It's okay to feel down. It's okay to feel invisible. It's okay to feel angry. It's okay to feel frustrated or overwhelmed. I'm just reading what you guys are writing. It's okay to feel confused. It's okay. Okay? And it's completely normal and it's completely natural because we're human beings. And we weren't designed to live life this way. We were designed to have a lot of stress, but in a very short period of time. We weren't designed to have a lot of stress all the time, okay? And if we had a lot of stress all the time, what was happening in our lives was we were very physical in nature. So we had challenges, but we also had a lot of physical activity. So I had a lot of physical strength to deal with these challenges. But today, we're almost like Jello. We're always sitting in our homes, in our chairs, in our sofas. And even if you go to the gym, it's not the same type of challenge to your body. It's much better, but you're not exposing your body to the nature and to the elements of nature, like severe cold and severe heat and hunger for 2-3 days. You're not pushing your body and you're not triggering the genes that exist in you that make you deeply resilient. So in fact, we aren't at our peak performance on a biological level. And our body and mind are connected. So the first thing we need to do is, if we acknowledge these emotions and we say, all right, just for fun, so follow with me, okay? Just for fun, just for a moment, just for an exercise, I'm going to take that pain, I'm going to take that mad feeling, I'm going to take that anger, I'm going to take whatever it is, and try to do this with me at the same time. I'm going to take that frustration, I'm going to take that exhaustion. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a box here on the side, okay, next to me, so it's not very far. I'm going to open up this box, and I'm going to put these emotions temporarily in it. I can go back to them anytime I want, okay? So if I want to feel angry, I can go back to feeling angry anytime I want. But just for now, just for the sake of kind of reflecting on what's going on in our life, is it okay? Do you guys give yourself and give me the permission to ask you to take these emotions and put them in that box and close the box just for now, just fold the cover on? Because what you're doing by moving those emotions out of you, you're actually disassociating with them temporarily, and you're creating a space for you to neutralize your current state, okay? Some people won't be able to do that because the emotions will be so strong. So I'm going to give you another exercise that's going to help out really quickly, okay? Doubting yourself, all that kind of stuff, everything that you're writing, okay? I'm great in what I do. I'm a big loser when it comes to maintaining a social and personal life. Having a lot of work. All right, we're going to definitely talk about that. I love the responses, guys. You guys are just incredible. I want you to do this. If you can't get rid of those emotions, you don't have the control enough to just take them out and put them in a box and close the box, okay? Then I'd like you to imagine that you're in a movie theater. So like right now, I'm sitting in a movie theater, okay? COVID-free movie theater. And what's happening is you're in a seat watching yourself on a screen. So there's you in the movie as an actor in your own movie, and you were originally in the screen. And then I want you to take a moment, deep breath, and then just think of yourself flying out of the screen. And now there's you sitting in a movie theater, watching yourself in the movie on the screen, okay? So you're almost watching yourself from outside of your own life. And in that movie, I want you to take that emotion, those feelings, whatever they are, and I'd like you to try to put them in a box in the movie. So now you're watching yourself being in that moment where you're taking those emotions and putting in a box, okay? If you manage to do that, there's several different ways to do this, okay? You're going to calm down just a little bit. To add to this, we just want to relax ourselves even more. I just want you to become aware of your attention right here at the top of your head, okay? And you take a deep breath and then take that attention, let it flow over your face. And as it's flowing over your face like water, okay, just gentle water, imagine it relaxing all the muscles in your face, and then relaxing the muscles in your neck, and relaxing the muscle in your chest and your heart and the area that you breathe, relaxing the muscles in your shoulders and your arms and the other arm, relaxing the back muscles all the way to the bottom, relaxing the bottom of your thighs, relaxing your lower feet, and just allow that water kind of take all the stress with it and kind of let it flow down into the ground out of you, okay? If you've managed to do this exercise or these different exercises to help you kind of relax and get into a comfortable state, we are now ready to start thinking about what's going on, because we've shifted from our reptilian brain, and I'm going to put this again on the screen, okay, back to our prefrontal cortex, or the logical brain, at which point we are now capable of starting to process and think about things in a logical context. So if you're trying to solve a problem in your life when you're extremely angry, you could be successful at it, but it might not be the best option available to you. Is there a purpose for anger? Yes, but good anger, not consistent anger. And I can tell you that for the past 2 to 3 weeks, I've had consistent anger. I'm so angry. I'm so angry because I feel it is so unfair what's going on in Lebanon right now, being that I'm living in it. So unfair to the people, and so silly. So if it was a problem that was difficult to resolve, if it was a massive problem, but it's not. We're not talking about high standards of performance, solving, traveling to the moon. We're talking about very basic, simple, essential things like having fuel, electricity, power, water, like a little bit of medicine. And what's holding this back, the reasons for it, are infuriating, to be very honest with you. It's ridiculous. So it's natural to feel angry. Now, let's be very honest. If we choose to live in this country, or any country that you're living in right now, and you're feeling the same type of problems, it's a choice that you're making. And that choice that you're making is going to move you from a position where you are at the effect of your life, something they use in NLP, which is quite fun, to the cause of the situation in life. So in very simple terms, what we're really saying is, I always have a choice as a person. You always have a choice as a person to either deal with the situation or to let the situation deal with you. So you're either driving the situation or it's driving you. If I'm in a state of deep emotion, then the situation is driving me. Okay? But if I've managed to process my emotions, then I'm driving the situation. And the difference between that is actually very small. It's just a matter of saying to yourself, okay, what do I really want? So let me ask you something. 90% of people who come to me for coaching will come to me and say, John, I need you to help me solve something, right? I need to be able to pay my bills. I need to be able to get a job. I need to be able to have a relationship. I need. And 90% of the time, the topics are always related to pain, avoiding things that are making us unhappy or uncomfortable. The first challenge of a good coach, okay, whoever that coach is to work with you to translate that challenge, that pain, and to shift your focus from what you don't want to what you do want. So the question I'm going to ask you right now, and I'm going to illustrate it here on the screen for those that are on StreamYard, is if you look at your pain is coming as a side effect of a problem that you're facing or a combination of problems. So if you look at your life right now and you write down your problems, I want you to write down the top 3 problems that come to your mind. So problem number 1, problem number 2, and problem number 3. Don't think much about it. Just write it down on that piece of paper that you prepared. So problem number 1, problem number 2, and problem number 3. Pain to power. That's absolutely right, Zach. Thank you, man. That really means a lot to me. I always say pain to power. How did you remember that? That's so cool. So problem number 1, let's say in problem number 1, your issue, or my issue anyways, is do I stay or do I go? It's kind of a song. Do I stay or do I go? Okay. Problem number 2 that I'm facing in my life is, for me personally at this situation, I feel it's unfair the way that we are treated. And I'm angry because people are not taking action, the kind of action that needs to be taken. And the third problem I have in my life is being stuck at home due to COVID. Because I have to make sure that I'm not catching COVID for my dad's health. So I'm being super transparent with you guys. It's kind of scary to do that on social media. Now, anyways, but that's how much I trust and I love you. So here's the thing. If I write these 3 problems down, and if you guys all wrote down these 3 problems, I want you to think about which one's most urgent to you right now. So out of these 3 problems that you've written down, which is the one that you want, irrelevant of how big or small they are, to get resolved right now? So let's say the problem that I want to get resolved right now is stuck because of COVID for me. For you, it'll be something else. For me, staying at home, not going out, being in total lockdown all the time, not just because of the country and the rules, but actually because I'm actually making sure that I don't catch COVID, has made me live almost like a hermit for the past 6 months, which is really difficult if you're a people person like me. So why am I saying this? Is because this is something I want to resolve right now, because I think if I could go out, hang out with my friends, spend more time with people, interact with people in a proper way, right? God, this pen is so difficult to use. I bought a new pen and it's not that easy to use. Then that might reduce how stressed out I am about the country itself. All right? So this is the first thing I want to do. Now, here's the thing. What did I say as words? For those who are watching, I said stuck, okay, because of COVID. So what is my brain focusing on? The pain, yes? So if you wrote these 3 problems, you should have written them down right now and you chose one. Can you write down for me, please, what's the most important problem for you that you want to solve right now? What's the one that's bugging you the most? And I'm going to check in with Muhammad really quickly because he's such a champ and he's still in the show. Muhammad, are you there?
Yes, sure.
Brother, did you take a moment to write down the 3 top issues that are bugging you or problems that are bugging you right now?
Of course, but I think number 3, which what you just mentioned, is for the majority of people, they have the same issue. About they have the elderly people in their home, their parents is there, and they don't want just to be the cause of COVID-19.
Absolutely. Would you say that that's the most important one for you, or the one's causing you the most stress right now?
I think so.
All right. Can you tell me how you wrote it down? So when you wrote it down in front of you, what words did you use to write it? I just was sending a kiss to my cousin who just joined the show. I haven't seen for a long time. I love you, cousin. Yeah. So
at home.
What did you write? Can you say it to me, please?
John, it says stay at home.
Stay at home. So if I asked you, Muhammad, this problem that's bothering you right now, what is it that you want to solve? So tell me in the language that you want to tell me.
How to invest your time more and more.
Okay.
To move yourself to the next level, I think. Just to invest that time you staying at home.
So your problem is that you're stuck at home and you're thinking about how to invest your time to take advantage of that time where you're stuck at home. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So you've done the next step, and I'm so proud of you for doing that, even though I don't know you. But so if you take a look at what Muhammad said, he said, stuck at home. So notice he started off with a negative statement, and he wrote that I'm stuck at home. And what Muhammad is saying is, I don't want to be stuck at home, but since I'm stuck at home, then I want to take advantage of this time and I want to invest my time, okay, and take advantage of it. So how do we want to invest our time? Doing something beneficial. What would you like to do with your time, Muhammad? What would be an investment, a good investment of your time?
To upgrade ourselves with the next, to upskill something and just read some more books and attend some webinars also, like what we did now.
Upskill, attend webinars. I'm writing them down. Like
reading more.
Like with Baldy John Carews. What else?
Of course. Reading books, reading more.
Reading books. Okay, what else?
Don't watch Netflix.
Don't watch Netflix. Okay.
That's it.
Don't watch Netflix. Okay, have you tried to do these things?
I am trying.
You're trying. Is this really what you want, or is this what you think you should be doing because you would feel guilty if you weren't?
I think this is what I want to do it.
So let me ask you something. If I read this back to you, I want you to know if you get emotionally charged when you're thinking about it, all right? So invest my time by upskilling myself, by attending webinars, reading books, and let's say not watching Netflix, is just using my time appropriately, okay? How does that feel to you? How does it sound to you?
Sound great.
Sound great. So what next step can you take?
Motivating.
Sounds motivating. Okay. Is there something holding you back from achieving this?
Of course.
All right. What are they? What are your limitations or the blocks?
We will go back to the decision fatigue. What book we will read? Which webinar we would like just to focus more. Which skills we would like just to have it to have upgrade on it.
What webinars? 3. Which skills? Okay. Anything else?
I think that's it.
Okay. So you have a decision fatigue. So that means you're putting a lot of weight on these in giving you something. What is it that these are supposed to give you? So if you do these things, if you upskill, if you attend webinars, if you read books, if you don't watch Netflix, what's the reward? What is it going to give you?
The upgrade version of yourself.
Perfect. Now you're an upgraded version. You're Muhammad 2.0, 3.0, Khayi. Mabruk. And what will you do with that? What will that give you? Other than hair.
I think to apply these skills, or to apply what you learn from webinar or reading books, applying how to use it, how to applying in your daily life, it's the most important.
You
the
apply.
How, because most of us, they know what's the issues, but they don't apply anything, or they don't know how to do it.
Okay. So just to make sure I understand you correctly, are you looking to upskill, attend webinars, read books, and not watch Netflix so that you can learn how to apply the solutions you already know? Or are you looking to upskill, attend webinars, read books to increase your capacity to become version 3.0 and then apply it in your life?
For increasing the capacity is number one, of course, as you said, as you just mentioned. But I think...
Sorry, تفضل.
Go ahead.
تفضل. Go ahead.
So the most important thing, I think, just how to apply these issues, and just to have the best time investment for yourself and the time management, just to invest this time. This is the most important, I think, for me.
So that's where your problem is it not?
I think
how to invest and how to apply. That seems to be the primary question. Yes?
Yes. And don't feel guilty when you watch Netflix.
And don't feel guilty. So you have another area here of guilt. طيب يا حبيبي. How to apply and how to invest. Brother, you're asking the wrong question. Okay? Your thinking is wonderful. You're saying, wow, I'm stuck at home. You use the word stuck at home. So did I. We all tend to use the word stuck at home. And you're saying to yourself, all right, I'm stuck at home. So that means time is being wasted, it seems. And so from there, I want to invest my time. So not to waste that time, because invest your time was your own words. And then you said, I want to upskill, attend webinars, read books. So what you're doing is really moving away from guilt, the guilt of losing time, maybe. Let me know if I'm wrong or right. I'm not coaching you. I'm just sharing with you some ideas. And in this situation, you're saying, I have decision fatigue. I don't know what to take and what to do and which skills to improve so that I can actually apply them in my life and get a result. Okay? So let me ask you something. And Zach is saying the hardest part is to start, but you can do it, mate. So you got a lot of support here. He's a great guy anyways. I want to ask you this, Muhammad, what will this give you? Because if you don't have an answer to that, then you won't be driven to apply it. So you're excited about the idea of taking advantage of your time and investing it. But what I'm trying to discover about you is once you improve those skills, whatever they are, doesn't matter. Once you gain more knowledge through reading books, once you attend more webinars that expand your awareness and reflection and wisdom, what is that meant to do for you? Because if you upgrade a car, there's a purpose for it. You don't just upgrade the rims for no reason. You don't upgrade the engine for no reason. You usually upgrade the car with a purpose in mind, right? You want to make the car faster, smarter, stronger, more 4x4, whatever it is. There's always an objective. So my question for you is, all these upgrades that you want to do to Muhammad, what will they give you in the end, ya Habibi? How are they meant to serve you?
To be honest, I don't know.
Hence, there is your challenge. If we do things to run away from guilt, then we will never do them effectively. What's going to happen is, and I'm betting, you read a little bit, you watch a little bit, you feel a little bit better, but because there's no path, you don't know where your destination is, you end up going to your old habits, watching Netflix and other stuff. So it's very important to have a destination, okay? So let me ask you something. If today you upskilled already, so if I told you, Muhammad, I'm going to do this, bam, and you're going to suddenly be 3.0 upskilled, okay? All that time that passed already, fully invested, perfect, mwah, bellissimo. And you're going to take this new upgrades and you're going to apply it in your life. Where would you apply it in your life?
To be Johnny Kairou's number 2.
Holy moly, I hope you have better standards than that, buddy. Okay, John Kairou's number 2. So would you like to do this kind of work? Like, which part of it? Coaching, mentoring, training, communicating, tfilsof? Which one do you want to do?
No, I think between training and coaching.
Training and coaching. Do you have any certifications in the field? Have you tried to do that yet?
And telling skills training.
Okay. So what do you enjoy the most about training or coaching? When you think about being John Kairou's number 2, thank you so much for the honor, but just for the fun of it, what do you, tell me what you feel, tell me what you see. What do you see yourself doing in that moment? Where are you?
I think just to upgrade other people and just to learn them more skills and upskill their own, discover their own area, powerful area.
What a beautiful heart you have, brother. And when you're supporting other people, I think I'm back. Let me just see if my connection is actually, I should be connected manually. Can you hear me, bro? Hamad? Are you there?
Yes, I am.
All right, buddy. Somehow my internet dropped for a few seconds and just came back. So I was just asking you, once you become John Kairou's number 2, or even a better version, God willing, of me, and you're doing all these things, helping people, supporting people, doing all that kind of stuff, what will it give you?
Self-satisfaction, maybe.
Cool. Yeah, but that's okay, bro. Don't be shy of saying that. Self-satisfaction. What kind of feeling are you going to get, man? Give me those feelings. What are you getting out of it? You feel strong, powerful, happy, mad, whatever, exciting, superb, top of the world, whatever it is. I don't really go through that, but tell me, what do you feel? Huh?
All of that.
All the above. I want your words, not mine. What do you feel?
I think I will feel very proud about what I did.
Thank you. Now we're talking. So you want to do something where at the end of the day, you look back at your day and you say, I feel proud about this. Does that sound right to you?
Yes.
All right. And can you feel proud about things that you're doing that are also other than training and coaching? Are there other things in your life that you could do right now that will also make you feel proud?
Of course. Yes.
All right. I'm listening. What is it, buddy?
I think everything I did it in my life, I'm proud of it. But you ask me a questions when you be John Kairou's number 2, what you will be feeling.
Better
So
than
I
me.
told you I will be feel.
Lake Habibi, I want you to take a moment. I'd like to invite you right now as I share a bit more information with everybody here on the show. Would you take a moment to write down all the things that you would benefit from if you were doing this? So once you upskill, attend webinars, read books, that's all going to give you an upgraded version of you, okay? That upgraded version of you, what will it give you? What will you do for people and what will that give you? So write those down. An upgraded version of me, what will it do for others? How will I use it? How? And what will it give me? What's the reward? All right? I'm going to give you about 2 minutes to write that down as I share some valuable information with everybody, and then I'll be back for you. Okay? Is that all right?
Okay, sure.
You're the man. Thank you. All right. So as Muhammad goes through this reflective period, I want to share with you some very valuable information. So let's go through this process again, just to summarize, because having a guest on the show takes a priority for me over my own if you want, agenda or what I want to talk about, because what I care about is you guys and you're my priority. So if you take the initiative to come on the show, you're going to get the attention. That's just the rules of the show. Okay. So let me just tell you a couple of things that might be beneficial for you. First of all, guys, the most important thing to remember, step number 1 is recognize whether you're in a stress state. Because if you're in a stress state, then what you're doing is you're really dealing with the situation from your reptilian brain, which is the least productive brain when it comes to problem solving. It doesn't even like it. It's going to be sitting in your comfort zone. Your reptilian brain is going to ask you to stay in what is comfortable to you, just like Maya, a great coach, has shared with us right now. So, no, I don't have my voice. Anyways, so what does that mean? That means that the first thing I need to do is to de-stress for that specific time, for that exercise. I need to remind myself how valuable I am as a person. I can invite myself to take some deep breathing, 4 in, 8 out. I can do a relaxation exercise. There's 100 relaxation exercises on Google. I'm not going to tell you all about them. Just pop it on Google and write relaxation exercises, and you'll get 50 of them. And just choose the one that you like. You try it several times. It works for you. Add it to your list, and then bring another and a third and a fourth until you have 5, 6 exercises that always relax you. Don't use alcohol or other types of relaxing content or even medicine, because what you're doing is you're numbing yourself, and I don't think that that's going to be very effective for the brainstorming that you want to do. I would recommend you use mindfulness. You can use meditation techniques. You can use breathing. You can use nature. That's a fantastic way. You can take a hot bath. You can drink some yansun, okay, or chamomile, whatever it is. You can spend some time with a friend and say, I'd like to reflect. You can put some soft music, spend a couple of minutes on that, get that to put you in a relaxed state, and disconnect, for God's sake, from your technology, okay? Now, once you do that, and once you get yourself into a relaxed state, whatever way you do that, now you're ready to start reflecting. The next thing we need to do is examine our emotions, know what's going on inside of us. So you write down our emotions. I'm feeling this, I'm feeling that, I'm feeling this, I'm feeling that. I'm feeling angry, happy, sad, annoyed, bothered, stuck, all these things that you're feeling, all right? And you write these emotions down. In fact, if you feel that you also need to move with it, then you get up and you can dance while you're saying these emotions. So you can go, I feel angry. You can express that out of your body, okay? And it will come out, and it will also relax your system. I know this sounds a bit silly, but it actually really, really, really works, okay? And what you do is you write down what you're feeling, and then you can imagine that you're taking these emotions and you're putting them in a box, and you're closing that box just temporarily. You can always go back to feeling horrible, but give yourself a break for half an hour, just for the sake of this exercise. The third thing you can do is, if you can't do the box technique, is you can imagine you're in a movie inside of a cinema. You're the actor. You're the primary actor in the movie. And as you're in the movie, you're feeling these emotions. You put them in a box, and then you jump out of the screen. So part of you is left in the screen, and another version of you is stepping out into the theater. Now you're in the theater seat, watching yourself in the movie screen. We call this disassociation. Okay, it's very helpful as a technique. If even that's not relaxing you, then you can jump another version of you into the projector room. So you're in the projector room, watching yourself in the movie theater, watching yourself on the screen. That's 3 steps out, okay? Very effective to do, very relaxing. One time I did this with a friend of mine. She was going through a lot of stress, and she couldn't get out of that pattern. And I just felt that she was charged with emotion. So I said, all right, let's do this. If you're in the movie theater, you're sitting in the seat and you still feel super stressed. She said, yes. I said, check your stress from 1 to 10. Where are you on the stress level? And she said, I'm at a 10. And I said, all right, I want you to take all that energy. Imagine you're sucking all the air of the movie theater into your lungs. And then with all your force, like X-Men, exhale that air like a powerful scream, like shout, roar, and let that powerful air come out of you like a storm that rips the ceiling of the movie theater off its place. And she did that in her mind, of course, so people won't think she's crazy. And she was like, ah! And she just told me, oh my God, that was the most relaxing thing I did in my life, because the brain can't tell the difference between imagination and reality. And she blew the ceiling of the movie theater completely. She just ripped it to pieces, like you know, when those X-Men, right? And it calmed her down. Now that she's in a calm state, we're ready to deal with the challenge, okay? Because we're able to shift ourselves to our reptilian mind and say, what is the problem, okay? Aline is saying it worked, journaling your emotion. I started it this week. Yes, journaling really, really helps. That's why I said write it down, because when you write it down, it really makes a big difference. But journaling your emotion alone will help you to feel better, but won't solve the problem for you. So the next step we need to do to solve the problem is we need to define the problem. To define the problem, my friends, we need to define it based on its truth. And that's why with Muhammad, I was asking him, what are these 3 problems? Write them down. When you write down these 3 problems, choose which one you want to work with the most right now. So if Muhammad wrote down, my problem right now that I want to work with is that I'm stuck at home because of COVID. That's the one that's bothering me the most. So notice, we usually tend to write our problem in what we call a negative context or negative framework. So linguistically, it's written in a way where we're focusing on the pain of the problem, not on what the benefit is that we're going to get from solving the problem. So that's the first perspective. It's like, oh my God, this is really hurting me. I want to get rid of it. Once we write the pain of the problem, now we need to think about, what do we really want? Is it the pain of the problem, or is it something else that we want? Because if we don't know what we want, we're not going to be resourceful enough to pay the price of really solving the problem, to get as honest as we need to be with ourselves and the world around us, and to take really tough decisions. So in this situation, if you say, well, by solving this problem, I'm going to be able to, for example, take advantage of the time that I'm wasting at home. Some of you said, I need to take a job. I need to get a job. Well, have you done everything that it takes to get a job? Have you looked everywhere you need to look to get a job? Did you send out enough ships in hopes that another ship would come back, like Vasco da Gama, when he was exploring the world, okay, the Spanish Armada, they sent out so many ships, all right, in order for hopes that some would come back with the discovery of spices and benefits and, you know, gold and all that good stuff, and you land. So it's kind of a matter of taking a lot of action and knowing exactly what you want before you take that action so that you are hopeful. Now, in this situation, I got to step in and tell you that deep inside of my heart, I tend to do this in parallel with God. So I ask God to come in with me as a partner, and I say, Lord, you know best for me. You're my Father. You know what's best for me. I want this, but let your plan take place, because your plan is definitely going to be way better than my plan. And then I move forward through this, knowing that I have the support of my loving Father and Creator. For those of you who don't believe in God, that's okay. I'm not here to talk to you about religion. I'm here to share with you what my principles are. After all, is my show. But really to get to understand what are the different ways people deal with things and how that takes place. Now, once we decide what it is that we want, and that tends to be a bit hard, okay, we need to define what is that giving us. We need to really go deep. So you list, what will you lose if you don't do this? You write all the pain down if you don't do this. So what will I lose if I stay stuck at home and I don't invest my time? And you write all the painful reasons to increase the pain of staying the same. And then I go to something else and I say, what will I gain by doing this thing that I desire, all the pleasure and the benefit that I'm going to gain? So you're actually hacking your brain. You're increasing pain of staying the same, staying where you are, increasing the pleasure of moving forward. When the force in your brain and in your body of moving forward is bigger, far bigger than the pain of staying the same, your body naturally moves, your mind naturally moves, your emotions naturally move towards your objective. It's very interesting. because the image in your mind of what you deserve changes, and then you desire it. And you will wake up with fuel. And that fuel can either be energy like anger, like, oh, I want this now. Or it can be excitement, say, I want this now, okay? Other things we need to do is, and please write these down, it's so, so important. One, got to make sure that you've really defined the problem right. You need to make sure that you've checked the facts. So I've spent 6 months doing a lot of fact checking. So a lot of you have sent me messages. Some of you have sent me a message saying, you know, definitely leave Lebanon. It's so much better for you. You can help so many people out there. Yes, it's true. But you got to remember, I'm half Lebanese. I love this country. And by leaving it, I feel like I'm divorcing it, which is a belief system in my mind. Whether that's true or whether that's not, I'm going to have to face the truth of the matter. So maybe I'm going for a breakup, but not a divorce. Maybe I'm going for a temporary time where I give myself an opportunity to go out into another country and explore new experiences and find new people to work with and new things to do. So now I've got to decide if I'm willing to take that adventure, get out of my comfort zone, or stay in my comfort zone. If the decision was just to me, I'd take it in 5 seconds. But since it impacts others, I need to decide right now, like I told you at the beginning of the show, how am I going to deal with my parents and the impact of me leaving and having them deal with their challenges in this country right now that is currently unstable on their own. And so I got to look at some facts, I got to define the problems, and then I need to go have a heart-to-heart conversation with my parents. Because maybe the pressure that I feel for having to serve them is only in my head. Maybe my parents will say, what are you doing here? You definitely need to leave the country. And maybe they'll say, no, this country is yours and you're a change maker. Stay here and invest in your country and in your people. So I don't know what the response is, but so long as I'm sitting trying to solve it in my own brain, I'm not moving forward, okay? After that, after I do research, I collect the data. So you collect the data about the reality of the situation. So let me tell you something. If you have a problem because you're in a breakup, you can ask yourself, can I have a conversation with that person and find out what were the primary reasons for that breakup? If that same type of breakup happens over and over and over again, there's a pattern there. And that pattern there might be that maybe what I was expecting from that partner, okay, or that person, the set of expectations I had from them were unrealistic. And I've talked about this in relationships, where sometimes we tend to expect that our partner is going to be our parent, to cover an area in our life that we don't have covered, to heal one of our wounds, and that gets into psychology. But you can definitely check with a psychoanalyst or psychologist or someone who really knows what they're doing in that area to discover more about yourself. But the fact, ergo, that you took a step to discover is in itself a process of solving the problem. The next thing you do is you brainstorm. So you say to yourself, all right, I don't want to sit and analyze what works, what doesn't work. I just want to write down everything or all the ideas that come into my head about how to deal with the situation. So in this case, and we're going to go back to Muhammad, we're going to do brainstorming with Muhammad right now. Okay, I hope you're enjoying this. Muhammad, are you there?
Yes, John, I am here.
Perfect. So, brother, did you write down the reasons and the benefits that you would get from doing this?
Yes, I mentioned two about helping others and to make me gain more pleasure and to moving forward, and do some part of social responsibility to guide the new freshly graduated people, as example.
Okay.
And one of the reward I would like just to have also the set a new objective, for the future.
Nice.
For the future
So
wise.
you gave me 4. They tend to be big ones. I'm going to invite you when this show finishes to light at least 15. It's not enough. You want to write even small ones. You might say it becomes fun, or it might be exciting for me, or I'll make some money. Just write everything that can come to your mind. I want you to be as creative as you possibly can, okay? And write all the possible benefits that you would get, all right? Not just the big headlines, because we tend to focus on the big headlines and we forget that the small ones are the ones that we experience on a daily basis. So you might not get to the big one immediately, but you'll definitely get to the small ones pretty fast. Does that make sense?
Sounds good.
Yes. All right. Now here's a question for you. What can you do with your time? And what different programs could you take that are interesting to you? So without telling me, just take some moment to write down as many as you think of. You can tell me anything you want. You can say cooking, you can say growing roses, you can say leading executives, you can say leadership, you can say playing derbakke. You can write whatever you want. That's basically like the ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta for those that only speak English. I don't care what you write or what you're going to learn, because the whole purpose of being in a creative mindset to solve a problem is to completely go out of your comfort zone and write down every idea that comes to your head, even the silly ones. Okay? After that, we'll evaluate and select the ones that we want. So right now, I want you to go into a fury of brainstorming and just write down every single fun, upskilling, attending webinar kind of concept book reading thing that you want to do. Fair?
Fair enough.
Go for it, brother. You got 2 minutes on the clock. About this right action. All right. So the next step is, once we define the problem, we start to come up with ideas. So, to change our situation, to resolve our problem, we need to come up with ideas. Sometimes we can come up with these ideas on our own. Sometimes we need the help of others. So who can be with you right now in the idea creation space? Who do you know in your life right now, okay, that might assist you in coming up with a lot of creative ideas? Not advising you, okay, not parenting you, not coming and saying, hey, let me give you some advice. Stop advising people. Whatever you think you can do better than them is only effective for you. Instead, drive people forward so they discover their own creativity, okay? Thank you, it's a pleasure. It would be my pleasure to come to France at some point. Thank you so much. So think about who is going to be the person that can come into your life, or the people. Maybe you invite your friends. You say, okay, guys, we're going to play a fun game. I'm going to invite you to a lot of snacks and chocolate and all that kinds of other stuff, and maybe even alcohol if you drink alcohol, and say, all right, we're going to have a party. We're going to put some music. We're going to write down and start throwing down ideas, a lot of ideas about what I can do to solve this problem. Just go crazy with it. Nicholas, go nuts with it, brother. Write down all the things that you can come up with. You're such a creative person. All of you, a lot of you are creative here. I know many of you. So write down all the things that you can think of that will create a space for you. I'm just reading in Arabic. أتمنى كيف بس عندي موعد الكلام جميل. Thank you so much. بعتذر منك ما عم بحكي عربي، بس هيدا الشو صار بالإنجليزي نهار الجمعة. بس دايما فيكم تحكوا معي وتبعتوا لي المسجز وانا برد عليكم بالعربي بالprivate chat. Well, thank you. الله يخليكم. All right. So once we write down all our creative ideas, then we go to the next step, which is selecting the ideas, which is saying which ideas are interesting, which are going to benefit me, which are not going to benefit me, which one is so crazy right now that I can't apply, which one can be applied today, which one fits within my resources, which one is out of my resources, which one can I do on my own, which one do I need others to be with me, right? So you start to think about these ideas. Once you select the ideas that you do want, that you can take into action, then you start to put a plan of how you're going to execute it. You accept that this is truly what you want, and then you start taking massive action. Massive action. Khalas. No more thinking, pure action. So let me go back to my example right now. I'm putting a lot of pressure on myself to do this live. But I function best under pressure. When it comes to my choice, whether I should leave the country right now, leave Lebanon or not, I've been going back and forth, and most of the back and forth has been in my mind, to be very honest with you. I didn't do a good job at doing a tremendous amount of research because I was stuck in my comfort zone, and I appreciate that coming from my friend of mine. Basically, the fact that, I have a good life here in general, except for the big challenges that are affecting my parents. So for me specifically, I'm not feeling so much pain if I don't watch the news, if I don't listen to negativity. But on a general level, yes, there's pain everywhere else. Every person I meet, I can see their pain. And I love my friends, my family, my neighbors, and my people. And I want them to be happy. We all want that for each other. So from this perspective, the first thing I need to do here, going through those steps, is number one, let me define the problem. The problem is that I believe that I'm being limited by my presence in Lebanon at this point in time. With my capacity right now, I'm being limited. Bonjour Kamel. Je peux pas parler en français parce que this show is en anglais. All right. Mais si tu veux, tu peux me parler à message, like private chat, and I will respond to you, okay? Sorry, désolé, mon français est terrible, okay? Anyways, moving back to the situation I'm talking about. First thing is, I know that my potential is much bigger than what I'm doing right now, and there's so much more that I can offer. Now, doing that online is acceptable, but you still need a network, okay? The second thing is that I also need a break. I mean, literally, as a person, I've been spending tremendous amounts of time dealing with this country for the past 10 years, and I'm not someone who likes routine. I'm someone who likes variety and change. So if you know this about your needs, you discover you like variety and change. I just see the laughs. You guys are funny. Okay. Then in that case, obviously, it's good for me to have a change. Third thing I'm looking at is the financials of it. Like, does it make sense right now to financially move and put expenses and deal with all that stuff? Fourth, every time you change, you're actually doing Sorry, guys, my internet went out. I'm not sure why, so I shifted to another connection. I'm back. Forgive me for that. Let me just take a look. I've gotten some questions here on Instagram. Here's a question to you. Are you sure you're in the comfort zone now with all the uncertainty in Lebanon? The uncertainty of Lebanon doesn't affect me internally, it affects me externally. So my pain is not when it comes to me personally. It comes to what I see could happen to my family, like my father at 84, or when I see my friends, and especially when I see a lot of people suffering without food and without the ability to pay their bills by the end of the month. That uncertainty, because we are affected by our community, and it causes me a lot of pain. And thank God there are so many of you, so many incredible people who are actually going out of their way, sharing their food and what they're getting on a daily basis to give back to those in need. And so really, that's also a memory. I mean, how many times do we get the chance to live in a country that goes bankrupt? Not much. I mean, I've already experienced it in the US in 2008, so that's why I wasn't very happy about the experience the second time around. Jihad, John, I have the same problem as you. My wife is living in her body in Lebanon, but in her mind in Australia, and we are doing whatever we can to move to Australia. Habib Jihad, in this situation, brother, if you have a plan of action and you took all the action that you need and you've done everything that you need to do and you're just waiting, in that situation, then that's just a question of how long are you willing to wait, okay? Because as you're waiting, you're also burning away your life. So to an extent, I'm thinking like, wow, I'm kind of burning away days which I could be enjoying by worrying about whether I should stay or I should leave. So I've got to put an ultimatum for myself. So my ultimatum is, and I've tried to do this twice with a failure. So there's something I need to learn about myself. And that's what's going to make you stronger, learning how to deal with things. Right now, to be very frank with you, I'm running away from taking the decision to move forward or not. And I'm starting to approach it in small steps, okay? Small steps to not rock my boat. But I started taking action. So I have information from lawyers, trying to understand what's going on, see if that's something I can do, see if it makes sense financially. So first I'm going to look at it on a financial level, on a practical level, and then I'm going to look at it on an emotional and psychological level. But knowing myself, most probably I'm going to make the move to try it out because there's nothing to lose, really, to be honest. Let's take a look really quickly here. Excuse me for that. Muhammad, are you there?
Yes, I am here.
Batal. Muhammad, just to wrap up the show, because we've been live for an hour and 16 minutes, you incredible, amazing people. I can't get enough of you. So I just want to ask you, Habibi, have you taken a moment to write down and brainstorm ideas?
Yes, sure.
All right. How many did you come up with? I don't need to know what they are, but just how many is a number?
Almost 3.
لا يا خي لا بدك توصل ل 15 20. I want you to go completely out of the box, brother. You need to have a selection. So promise me that by the end of this weekend, okay, today it's Friday, so happy weekend for you. Happy Friday, Habibi. Tomorrow, okay, by the end of tomorrow, you need to come up with like 20 different ideas. And if you don't know where to get your ideas, go online, research, just find as many training programs, go on Udemy, go on Coursera, go many places, check out new webinars, go to CTA's website. CTA has some amazing webinars that take place every Tuesday. You know, find different resources, listen to some interesting people, collect resources, and then decide which of these are the ones most aligned with what you want. Do you understand?
Okay. Yes. Sure.
Is that something that you can do?
Promise.
Cool. And by when will you do this?
By the weekend.
All right. So by the end of the weekend, I expect an SMS from you or a message on social media. Tell me, buddy, I did this. This is what I came up with. And I'll go with you to the next steps, which is evaluate, select. Then once you evaluate, select what you want to do, we put a plan of action of how you're going to go about doing it. And then you accept that this is what you truly want. And you move forward to taking massive what? What? Massive what?
That's what you really want.
Massive action, right? Exactly. All right. Transformational Tuesdays for CTA. Reach out to me in private message. I'll share it with you. I think I have it somewhere here. Coach Transformation Academy is a company I am lucky to be a coach trainer in, and a wonderful, wonderful company with amazing people. Their channel on YouTube is called Coach Transformational Tuesdays. It's just literally how it's written. Coach Transformational Tuesdays on YouTube. You can go in. There's around 8 videos already. It's super interesting, really cool stuff. All right, and I highly recommend to check it out. You've got speakers like Dr. Andre Vermeulen, really a lot of great people, Tende Vicky, Tani Halmud. So you really have a lot of interesting people that are sharing some fantastic, valuable information. And every Tuesday, they download a new video, okay? So I highly recommend you check those out too. And hopefully you will find it to be beneficial for you. Remember, they are more of a coach. We're a coaching company, obviously. So we talk about coaching in general, but it's very beneficial for you on a personal level. Anyways, guys, I took up a lot of your time. An hour and 19 minutes. Yeah, Allah. I wish you all the best of luck. I hope this has been a beneficial conversation for you. Next week is Allah Rad. We're going to have some very interesting guests. I'm not going to tell you. Keep it as a surprise. And we're going to talk about some interesting stuff too. And I'm looking right now to upgrade my graphics and all that kind of stuff to make it more interesting for you, add a little more action to the videos. So bear with me as I turn this into a more professional kind of experience. I just want to tell you guys are amazing. Staying with me for an hour and 20 minutes is a massive honor. And you are glorious people. God bless you. I pray that God will protect you, will protect your families. If you had someone that you've lost because of COVID, you have my sincere condolences from all my heart. Please be safe, be strong, be happy, and make good decisions for your life. And just spread joy wherever you go, because nothing else is really worth it. And yeah. That's pretty much it. All right. John Kiru's out. Mr. Muhammad, thank you for being on the show. You are amazing, brother. You shared with us your heart. And for everyone
else, so much, John.
You're most welcome. You are welcome anytime, ya Habibi. This is your home, and you are my brother. All right. I'll say goodbye. I keep clapping my hands. I forget that this is going to come across on the microphone, and a lot of you are going to be like, this guy is nuts. Anyways, wish you a good night, brother. Regards to everybody in Jordan. Have a good night, guys. Enjoy your weekend, and God bless. And I'm ending the broadcast in 3,